Good evening, everybody. I am Tilly the Comic, and I am glad to be back with Tilly the Comic Cooks. This special episode is being dedicated to Planned Parenthood. We are raising funds for them because they need us right now. And we need them more than we know, unfortunately. People in power have told us bad things about them that we really should not believe. Men, women, and children can all go to Planned Parenthood and be safe and get checked out. So we should really support them. And I'm in the kitchen today because that's what they want me to be, is in the kitchen, serving my man. And from looking at me, you probably wouldn't guess that I'm married to a dude. But I am. However, in our household, the roles are reversed. He keeps the house because I'm terrible at it. I watch football and fart. It's a win-win, really, at least for me. Anyway, today we are making bread because what is more basic than bread? And what is more basic than our human rights as women, right? We deserve that. I was born in 1973. The first button that was ever given to me was an ERA button. And I'm still waiting. I just turned 49. It's all good. I'm still a powerful sexual being, even though I can probably grow more beard hair than you right now. Yes. So, as always with Tilly the Comic Cooks, I am going to have a little fun first and then show you how to make our signature cocktail. All right, to make the Pussy Power Margarita, you're going to fill your blender up halfway with ice. You are going to get one of these gorgeous Cutwater Lime Margaritas. I'm not sponsored by them, but I'd like to be. In fact, all bartenders and servers typically go to this margarita because they taste most like the ones real bartenders make. And I'm not just saying that. I have taken polls. Okay, so you're going to fill that bad boy up. Boom. Dump the whole can in there because it's Sunday. And we're not at church. We can have fun. Or after church, you can have fun. Either way, you're going to do a handful of blueberries. And this represents the blue balls that we want men to get because we're not going to give it up unless we know that they're pro-choice. We know that they're evolved. That's important. Next, you're going to get some peaches. I am very lucky and have a friend who has a peach tree and can't use all of them. So I got some lovely peaches here. Now you can mix these margaritas in the can with any fruit, but for today, we got to do the Pussy Power Margarita. And of course, peaches for the pussy. You know, I'm a female bartender, have been a lot of my life. And when you're a female bartender who looks like me, people are dying to know which team you play for. Just dying. And they always go asking about it in such an unusual way. Like, it's like, oh my God, I love your hair. Oh, I wish I was brave enough to cut my hair off. Do you eat pussy? Like, oh. Thanks. Which answer will give me the bigger tip? Because that's really all your bartender cares about, besides making a good drink. Anyway, we got this. I'm going to blend and we'll be back. All right, here it is. We've got the Pussy Power Margarita in all its purpley pink glory. Cheers. Everybody in the audience at the fundraiser, cheers. Everybody at home, cheers. One more time. Cheers. We all need an extra drink. You know, this event is happening after the election, but this recording is happening before the election. So it's like the Wild West for me. This is amazing. All right, we've got our Pussy Power Margarita taken care of. We also have plenty of backup and our reusable straw because besides liking rights for humans, We also like rights for the earth. Okay. Here we go. Are you ready to bake bread? Oh, this is my dog Pizza. I'd like to tell you about her a little bit. Pizza, up, 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 up. She is part Basset and Border Collie. She is a huge pain in the ass. She is my third dog. I chose to have her. I'm choosing to live with the repercussions of my choice. If someone had forced me or forced her upon me, I'd resent her a hell of a lot more than I already do, okay? It's bad. She's so dumb. She's so dumb. Watch. Pizza up. Pizza up. Up. Pizza up. Stupid. Okay? Stupid. She's adorable, but stupid. She's 4 feet long when she's fully stressed out. I don't recommend them. Like children, I have one, love him to death. Don't recommend him, wouldn't want to force him on anybody. Okay? Here is the bread bake. So, I'm going to make it in a cast iron pot. I have preheated my oven to 170 and I've turned it off. That way it's kind of like a proving oven. You want water that's 110 degrees. This is what all the recipes say. And if I can find my thermometer, like a good TV host would have, I'm not a professional. Here we go. We are at, and I put 2 1/4 cups in the microwave, and we are damn near at 110. We're at 108. I think we're pretty good. Okay, we got that. We've got the yeast. We've got sugar, which the yeast loves to eat on. And we take 1/4 cup sugar. We put it in the water. This is 6 cups of bread flour sifted, because you want to make it light and airy if you haven't measured it out per se, like they do on the Great British Baking Show, which I adore, but I don't think I could ever be on it. Okay, I've got my sugar in there. I am now going to put my yeasty in there. Got our yeasty. Boom. It's going to love that. Oop, it's going to start foaming and doing all sorts of cool shit in a second. And then I'm going to take a pinch of salt. I love this pink salt. It's so good. And apparently it doesn't have much sodium in it, so you can use a lot of it. Putting that on the top layer just so I can use that. And then what you do is you're going to put 2 cups or so of your bread flour in, along with a teaspoon or so of oil. I'm using some olive oil, and some people say vegetable oil. I'm using a little bit more than a teaspoon just because I love crusty bread. And then what you're going to do is we're putting it in the mixer, and we're just going to slowly mix that oil and that bread together while we add our yeast and hot water. You can see some of the yeast is around the edges here, so I have to make sure that all of that gets into here, because we don't want to waste any sugar or yeast, because that would mess up the chemical reaction that causes. Okay, I'm going to stop it. I'm going to scrape the bowl again just to make sure that everything is off the edge. So now we've got this kind of soupy-ish mixture, but it's like a decently blended soupy mixture. maybe a little bit more. You don't want to overblend it, but you don't want to underblend it. It's super fun, bread making. It will make you tear your hair out. So now we're putting in a couple more cups of sugar. Dyslexia is super fun, especially as a comedian. Flour. We're putting in the flour now. So far I have 4 cups of flour in there. Okay, can take anywhere from 5.5 to 6. You're going to turn this on, and you're going to let it beat itself into kind of a good dough. Let's put in our 5th cup. All right. See, now it's starting to like slow down on the paddle attachment. So this is where you want it. See how that is? It's on the paddle attachment. It's not super, it's sticky, but it's coming off. It's not sticking to the bottom, which if it's sticking to the bottom, I'm going to pull you even closer for this because, as again, I'm a professional and I've done this before. I'd like to show you what it looks like. So, this is good. It's kind of sticky. It's kind of funky. We have a little over a cup of flour left, which is fine because we're probably going to need to add some. But we like it here to now put on the hook attachment because you want to knead it, they say, for 8 to 10 minutes. Well, that's without a freaking mixer. It's about 3 to 5 minutes on a mixer. Here's the fun part I've learned. You don't want to overmix it and you don't want to undermix it. And depending on the recipe, you don't want to mix it hardly at all. But if you're using a mixer, it's kind of impossible. Yep, it's not sticking to the bottom. That's good. Okay, so I can always put my flour back. But see how that looks? Okay, it's not sticking to the bottom really crazy, okay? It pulls up. So now we put the hook on. And most bread recipes are like this. So I could quote a specific bread recipe, but I've tried a couple different kinds and they're all basically, the initial ones are the same. So you want to put your kneading hook on. And you want that to knead for a few minutes and I'll come back. All right, so it's been about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. I have it at 4 on the KitchenAid mixer, but as you can see, it's not sticking to the sides, a tiny little bit sticking to the bottom, but I can always add a little bit more flour. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna turn this bad boy off. I'm gonna check it and see, okay, see how springy that is? That's good. We want it sticky. We want a little bit more flour, but really not much, because it is pretty damn near perfect for what we need. So we'll add flour by hand. Now, for the sake of reality and for the sake of Planned Parenthood, I would like to point out that if I had kids here right now, especially multiple kids, there's no way I could make this video. Literally. Right now, my husband is out of the house, the dogs are fed, and the kid is at a play date, okay? So, and that's for me trying to do just a video making bread. Imagine if you have to do way more things with way more children. It's not easy. And who the fuck wants that? I mean, really. Support Planned Parenthood. Seriously. Okay, pause. Sorry if the angle has changed a little in your video. We're going to have a sip of our wonderful pussy power margarita in honor of Planned Parenthood. Again, as a dyslexic, alliteration can really mess me up. So I'm going to put a little bit of this extra bread flour we have onto this surface. Okay, make sure you can see it. Now I'm going to get this out of there. Flour my hands up too. Get the rest out. And we're just going to knead it a little bit before we add it to the cast iron skillet to rise. So I'm going to rise it in the same skillet that I'm going to cook it in. So I'm going to sprinkle about a 1/4 cup of flour on here because it's sticky enough that I know I need that much. So we now want to get it all mixed in there. See how I'm doing that? I'm going to scooch some of the extra to the side now, and I'm going to start kneading, okay? And we're just going to do that. And then I think, okay, I think I got enough flour there, so I'm going to get that out of the way. And we're going to put it like this and really get all of the stuff off of our hands on there. And really, it's pretty, it is springing back beautifully. So this is where you don't want to overwork it too much, okay? This is where you're like, okay, it is solid enough, but it's slowly starting to pull back a little bit. I would stop here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop here, quit while I'm ahead, and then let me wash my hands, and I'll show you what to do with the pan. Okay, I have clean hands. What I'm going to do is I am just going to spray a little bit of vegetable oil. You can smear it in by hand if you prefer. I'm just going to give it a quick spritz, okay? You want to do a quick spritz in the top just in case for the rise, okay? And then we are going to put this bread in, and what you do is you flip the bread once so it can get coated in that, so it doesn't stick to the bottom, okay? You want that bread to be coated with a little bit of oil, okay? Like I said, just a hair. Boop. Okay. Now we're going to cover it, and we're going to put it in this oven, which is warm but not hot, because we preheated it and turned it off. Then we are going to set our timer for, we'll say 45 to 50 minutes. We'll say 50 minutes. And we'll meet back here, okay? And I'll show you what it looks like. All right, welcome back. So I have just pulled this out of the warm but cool enough to touch oven. And I want to show you what this looks like when it's risen and you have the fun of punching it down. Look at this. It's totally full. Doubled in size. It's tripled in size. So we're going to take our fist, put it in a little bit of flour. We're going to punch it down. Okay. I also want to turn my oven to 375. Let's get it hot while we're dealing with this. All right, we punched it down. We're going to take this, pull it out. Oh my God, look at this. This is amazing. Okay. So, this is beautiful. We're going to keep that there. I want to show you this thing. I want to show you what it looks like. It should be like perfectly like stretchy and fluffy. It should feel out of this world. You do not need a lot of sugar for this. You really just want to roll it out once, flatten it, and then you're going to roll it up however you want. You can fold it and make a book. That's very popular. People do that, okay? Make your book. It's still fluffy. It's still beautiful, okay? Now, you want to put it back in your Dutch oven. And I'm not talking about your bed where you make farts. I'm talking about this. You're going to stick that beauty in there perfectly, right? And then, if you'd like, it's floury, you don't need to oil it. You can make a couple cuts in it so it makes a really nice loaf. And again, we're heating it up. We're going to make a little cut here, here. We're going to cut into it, make it pretty. All right. And then we're going to cover it and we're going to let it rise again. And you don't want to really do anything, but just leave it alone for another 45 minutes or 40 minutes or so. Okay, the timer has gone off It is ready to go in at 375 for approximately 30 minutes, covered, and we will check on it, okay? Pardon me, let me open this up. Ouch. All right. There we go. We are ready. And we're also ready for some comedy. I am a mom to a young boy, so much like a porn director, my life is filled with butt and wiener stuff. Okay, cut. You can stop touching yourself now. Hey, buddy, why don't you take your fingers out of your butt and wash up, okay? Oh my God, my son is so obsessed with his penis, or at least he was when he was younger. Ugh. One time he was walking from the bath to his bedroom, and I said something stupid like, uh-oh, watch out, wiggly wiener alert. My son stops dead in his tracks, looks me in the eye and says, Roberto does not like to be referred to as wiggly. Huh? Who the hell's Roberto? Oh, okay, all right. I find it fascinating that as a ginger, a white ginger, his penis is Latino. I'm not sure how that happens. I'm also not sure if that's problematic. I'm not a good housekeeper either. I really wouldn't do well in the 1950s. Anyone else use a leaf blower to vacuum? I also dust by just blowing on things. Like, looks good, right? I hope some of the people in the audience are going, yes, me too. Me too. I often look for other people to hang out based off of the fact if they open up their car door and garbage falls out, I feel like I'm safe with them because they understand me. I'm very pro-choice. I became a mom at 37 because I chose to. I had gotten pregnant approximately 6 years earlier and 5.5 years earlier, and it was with a very different person who was not a good person, and I was at a very different place in my life in a very secluded part of the world, and I decided not to go forth with that pregnancy, and I'm very proud of that choice that I made because instead I now have a almost 12-year-old who drives me so freaking crazy. He is currently crawling on the floor trying to get a good video shot. The slurping in the background is again that third dog who must fuck with everything. But yeah, I became pregnant at 37, which is considered geriatric by the OBGYN-FU. Yes, throughout my geriatric pregnancy at every checkup, it was like, okay, just so you know, you're old and this baby's probably going to have birth defects. I would like to tell them, just so you know, this baby's probably going to have fetal alcohol syndrome. Let's be real, okay? Okay. I carried my son to 42 weeks. Some of the people in the audience are gasping right now because 42 weeks is 10 whole months. They don't let women carry to that long right now, okay? And when he came out, he had the cord wrapped around his neck 4 times. 4 times. Again, possible gasps in the audience because normally 1, 2 tops, usually normal. So 42 weeks, 4 times. Apparently we both wanted to kill ourselves at that point. It had gone on for so long. So long, okay? After that, even my mom was like, you're not having another child, are you? Hell no. Get snipped. I ended up getting everything removed for various reasons, thankfully, because doctors like Planned Parenthood were looking out for me and noticed that I was having periods 3 times a month. Again, it's so important to check on your health. Anyway, it's just great, and I'm very honored to be a part of this show, and I really hope this raises a lot of money for Planned Parenthood, and I thank you so much. I hope this is enough time and you get enough glimpse of Tilly the Comic to want to watch and follow me in the future. And I again thank Planned Parenthood for everything they do for women everywhere. Power to the pink, power to the pussy, power to the people. I forgot to record. So I had a power to the pussy margarita moment, or pussy power margarita moment, and put it in right away instead of letting it rise for 45 minutes. So I'll just show you what it looks like. I pulled it out of the oven very fast. It looks very good. I should have waited until I got to this point to put the cuts in it. But I'm going to let it sit for about 15 minutes before I put it back in the oven, because it's technically supposed to rise. So I don't know if I just supercharge the rise or what. But hey, it's a Tilly the Comic Cooks moment, so we can all learn together. Okay, I lied. I think I'm going to put it back in the oven and just cook it, because at this point it's already been risen. I don't think we can get much more of a rise out of it, and I don't want to, but here it is one more time. It's already doubled. Whoop, yep, it's already got a little hard crust. I've already got a little burn, so let's put it back in for 30 minutes and see what we get. Or 20 minutes. We'll check after 20, just to be safe, because I'm cool like that. Hey, we're flying drunk and by the seat of our pants. Hey! Okay, so the timer has gone off. I decided to bake it for an additional 20 minutes at 375 after the rapid rise that I did not intend. We are looking for a brown, happy crust. And we're also looking for, let me move this a little bit. There we go. We're looking for no sound of sizzling. So here we go. Oh, look at that. It's gorgeous, but definitely not ready. Okay, so we're going to put it back in for about 10, 15 more minutes, and we're good to go. I just want to thank you again for tuning in. It's so great to be shooting Tilly the Comic Cooks. All right, checking the bread again. We're flying rogue, but I just don't know how cooked it is. It's hard to tell because I screwed up the rise process, but it's even bigger, even more beautiful, a little caramelization. So I'm going to guess that we need about 10 more minutes. Okay? All right. So I'm not going to talk about my kids. I'm not going to talk about my dogs. I'm not going to talk about anything other than a really important subject I want to bring up with all of you, which is if driving 35 feels like warp speed to you, or light speed if you prefer, stop driving. Just for everybody's sake, please, please stop driving. Okay, back to waiting for this to come out. Okay, here we go. I'm going to take this out of the oven. Hopefully you can see. Bless my son. Oh my gosh. Steamy glasses. Just like my Boba Fett steamy outfit. And then we're gonna OMG. This is perfect. I'm so happy. Well, I hope you're happy with this episode of Tilly the Comic Cooks. You could obviously check on it every 10 minutes until it's right. We had it firing at 375 in our Dutch oven. So I hope you celebrate this evening with a wonderful slice of bread. As always, thank you for tuning in. Tilly the Comic at Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. And then I am launching www.tillythecomic.com very soon. Thank you so much.